Hello everybody, welcome back to Modern Meta Matchups, and on this episode we have a couple of nice decks. I've got the Money Pile deck. Got to shell out quite a bit of money to build this deck, unfortunately. And what are you going to be playing, JC?
I'm playing the OG. I'm playing Mono Green Tron.
There you go, that is JC's favorite deck in Modern.
Truly is.
So this Money Pile deck, you might know it as a 4-color Omnath, Yorion, Blink, a lot of different names for the deck, but the point is the same either way. We've got our 4 colors, the Omnath colors. So we're obviously playing Omnath, some of the pitch elementals. We've got things like the Solitude. And we're playing a little bit more control than we used to back in the old days. And, well, old days meaning last fall.
Yeah.
No more like ephemerate and trying to get just infinite value. Now we're playing a little bit more of a controlling route with some counter spells and a little bit more interaction than we used to have.
Yeah, more of a straightforward mid-range style deck.
Exactly.
Creatures and spells. I'm playing a pretty classic version of Tron. Got our Karn the Great Creator package, cards in the sideboard to make Austin's life difficult. And then, of course, we've got 7 mana Karn, we've got Ugin, we've got Ulamog, and some big old walking ballistas to try and finish him off in the later part of the game.
Yep, and if you like these videos, you can let us know very easily. Hit that thumbs up, give us a like. And while you're there, make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you have, maybe tell a friend. It means a lot to us.
And leave us a comment down below letting us know what kind of decks you want to see on the show, what kind of content you want to see on the channel, what you like, what you think we could improve on. And if you feel like supporting us a little extra, our link to our Patreon is down in the description. It would mean the world to us if you would do that. And thank you to all our patrons who do support us.
And without any further ado, let's get into game 1. All right, JC beat me in the die roll. Let's see if he can beat me in the games.
On the first die roll, we actually tied.
True.
Both got 6s, but then you rolled a 7, which is very average, and I rolled an 11, which is pretty high. Wow, this hand has no lands. I cannot keep it.
This hand's not amazing, but I think it's good enough to try. So going into game 1, my hand's pretty decent. I have 3 lands, 2 fetch lands, and Wooded Foothills and Windswept Heath. I also have a Snow-Covered Mountain. As far as my spells, I have a couple of good 2-drops because it allows me to leave open either one. They're both instant speed with Ice Fang Quaddle and Counterspell, so whatever I need to do on turn 2, I can do it. To go with these 2-drops, I have a 3-drop in Teferi Time Raveler, and to round everything out, I have a Fury. So I've got a decent plan here. Let's see how it plays out.
Time to draw a new 7.
Hopefully it's 0 lands again.
Well, looking at the first card, it's definitely not 0 lands. I don't love this hand, but I'm gonna keep it. And I'll put this one on the bottom. Okay. I don't love this opener, but I do have at least 2 different Tron lands, so I have a game plan here. I've got a Forest, 2 Urza's Mines, and an Urza's Power Plant. I've got Karn Liberated for later in the game and a Chromatic Sphere. So I have a way to cycle. I have a green source for casting Stirrings and Scrying. I have a way to, start making the game progress forward, and hopefully my top decks will be kind. I am going to put this Kozilek Butcher of Truth to the bottom because, let's be honest, I'm not casting this guy anytime soon. Alrighty, to kick things off, I'm going to play Urza's Mine, the classic, and I'm going to put that into a Chromatic Sphere.
I wonder what my opponent's playing. Definitely not Tron.
Couldn't be Tron. Surely not.
Surely not. All right. We're going to go ahead and just start off with Wooded Foothills. And then we'll just pass the turn.
Okay. I'll untap. I'll draw a card. I see. Well, I'll play a Power Plant.
Oh, that's 2 of them.
And I will filter into a green and draw a card. I see. Well, play that Chromatic Sphere.
Yep.
Filter into yet another green.
Okay. Are we going to see a Stirrings?
No, unfortunately. We're just going to get a Relic of Progenitus.
Sure.
And then I'll pass.
Right. At the end of your turn, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice the Wooded Foothills and grab a tapped Ralgrim Triumph.
Okay.
Right. I'll go ahead and untap and draw. And I'll just play Windswept Heath and pass the turn.
Okay. On your end step, I'll make you exile a card from your graveyard.
Yep, there goes the Foothills.
All right, I'll untap. And draw. Well, I will tap Urza's Mine to play a Chromatic Star.
Sure.
I will tap Urza's Power Plant to sack it for green and draw a card.
You got a lot of the stars and spheres and stuff.
Sure done did do. I will use that green to play an expedition map.
Expedition map, you say?
Mm-hmm.
That is a problem. I think it's going to require me to do some action here. I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice my Windswept Heath, and I'm going to grab an untapped Breeding Pool.
Okay.
Alright, and with that expedition map on the stack, we'll make 2 blue and say no.
Boo! Well, I'll respond to that by activating my relic and targeting you.
Alright, Windswept Heath will go to exile.
No lands in graveyard. I lose my expedition map, unfortunately.
Alright.
Well, I do get to play a land for the turn, so I will play a second copy of Urza's Mine, and then I'll just pass. Counterspell. I'm a control player too, so I love that Counterspell exists in Modern, but I don't love when Austin has it for my map. It's just a map, Austin. Let it live. Well, I do want to respond here by forcing him to exile a card from his graveyard. I don't want him to play a Wrenn and 6 and immediately get a fetch land back, and if I let the Counterspell go in first, he'll just choose to get rid of Counterspell because it's not that relevant once it's been played. So this is sort of a niche thing, but it might make a difference later in the game.
At least it's not a tower.
It's not a tower.
Alright. Here, I'll just go ahead and play a Scalding Tarn. And then I'll pass the turn.
Okay. I'm going to cycle my relic on your end step.
Alright.
So we exile our graveyards, and I draw a card.
Deal.
Okay. I'll untap. And draw.
No Tron.
Didn't get Tron,
Okay.
but I will play a Sanctum,
Alright, that's 4 mana.
and I will try and resolve this 4-mana Planeswalker.
I'm going to respond just by seeing what we've got. I'm going to go ahead and play an Icewind Quaddle,
Okay.
and I'll draw a card.
Yeah, sure will.
Yep, Karn will resolve.
Okay. I'm gonna tick down the Karn and take a look here. I think the card we want to get in this case is probably just a good old-fashioned liquimetal coating.
Okay.
And after that, I will pass.
At the end of your turn, I'll go ahead and sacrifice the Scalding Tarn to grab a Ketria Triumph. Right, I'll untap and draw. Oh, it's a pretty good card there. Just to make it so that you're not going to have Tron next turn at least, I'm going to go ahead and play a Spreading Seas. It's going to go on the one that you only have 1 of, because putting it on a second Urza's Mine seems bad, so we're going to go ahead and put it on the power plant. And when it enters, I'll draw a card.
You sure will.
It's also a pretty good card. I think here, what I want to do though is just pay 1 mana to cast a Lightning Bolt targeting the Karn the Great Creator.
I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. Goodbye, Karn.
Things were not looking good at all. I was facing down JC's Karn the Great Creator. He had a Liquimetal coating in hand, which means next turn, I get strip mined every turn for the rest of the game. I have that Fury from my opening hand, but I look at my hand, I don't have a single red card. I don't have 5 mana. I'll never get to 5 mana because Karn just gets to keep on strip mining me. And then my top deck was Lightning Bolt, which is enough to take out Karn. I don't even have to lose my Fury. This was the best draw I could have asked for. And then I'll just play a basic Snow-Covered Mountain as my land for the turn. I'll go to combat, and I'll attack you for 1.
I am 1.
After that, I'm all set. I'll pass the turn.
Okay. I will untap and draw. Well, I'm not going to say it's what we were hoping for, but it's not terrible. I'll play a forest.
Yep. We're starting to get to the territory where you get to start hard casting the stuff, which is...
Exactly. I'm going to play a Walking Ballista for X is 2.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn.
Okay. I'll untap and draw. Go ahead and play Misty Rainforest as my land for the turn. I'm going to then go to combat.
Sure.
I'll attack you for 1.
I'm going to take the 1.
All right. After that, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice my Misty Rainforest and grab a Snow-Covered Island.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and pay 5 mana. And I'll hardcast Fury.
Shame.
When it comes in, I'm going to go ahead and deal 4 damage to the Walking Ballista.
Well, I'll respond.
Yep.
I'll kill Ice Fang.
All right, 1 damage.
And then why don't you go down to 13?
All right, I am down to 13. But at least Ballista is off the board.
Ballista's off the board.
After that, I'm all set.
All right, I'll untap. Untap, 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 and draw.
Yep.
Okay, not great. I'm going to pay 2 for Sylvan Scrying.
Sure thing.
I'm going to grab Urza's Power Plant. All right, I'll get that Urza's Power Plant and I'll play it. And then I'll tap 2 to play that Liquid Metal Coating we all know about. And after that, I will pass the turn.
All right. I'll untap and draw. I don't mind that, I guess. I'll go to combat. Get in for 6.
Can't do anything about it.
And then second main phase, I'll go ahead and pay a blue, a red, and a white. And play a Teferi Time Raveler.
Ah, yes.
And kind of want to draw a card here, so we'll just go ahead and bounce the Liquid Metal Coating.
Not the Spreading Seas?
Not yet. Maybe some other time.
Dang, okay.
And then I'll play a Snow-Covered Forest as my land for the turn.
Yep.
And pass the turn.
Okay. I'll untap and draw. Not what we wanted to see, but...
Any land means Karn.
Well, I didn't draw a land, but I do have a Worm Coil.
You have a Worm Coil. Yep.
And then I'm going to ship it on over to you.
All right. I'll untap and draw. I'm going to go ahead and lead things off by paying 2 mana. And I'll cast a Renin 6.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and plus Renin 6. And I'll get back this here Misty Rainforest.
You got it.
To my hand. And I'll play the Misty Rainforest as my land for the turn.
You got it.
And then I'll sacrifice Misty Rainforest to grab an untapped Temple Garden.
Okay.
And now that I actually have 2 white mana, I'll go ahead and pay 5. And I think you might already know what's coming here. Solitude.
Swords to Plowshares with a body.
And I'm going to target not Fury.
Oh, well. I mean, okay.
We'll take out the Worm Coil to gain you 6 life.
Yep, that's fair.
And I don't know if I want you to gain that 6, so I'm going to go ahead and attack you for 6.
Oh, I go back to 12. Right back where I started.
It was kind of like a 6-mana fog.
Yeah.
I'll then, in my second main, plus to fairy. And pass the turn.
Okay. I'm gonna untap and draw. Ah, that is a land.
Uh-oh. 7 mana.
This
Yep.
is Karn Liberated.
I have a feeling Fury might be
Yeah,
meeting its end.
yeah. I think I need to let this Karn die to a Solitude in order to not take 6 every turn. So Fury away.
All right. I'm not going to worry about bothering putting it in a Karn pile because I think we all know Karn's about to go away.
If this Karn ults, then you're really losing. I'll pass the turn after that.
All right. I'll untap and draw. We'll just go right into combat and take Karn out.
Well, you're at 13.
Yep, that gains me 3 life.
These Planeswalkers.
I'll then plus Renin 6. I'll put a Scalding Tarn into my hand and play it as my land for the turn.
For sure.
And then I'll plus to fairy up to 3.
You got it.
And then pass the turn.
Okay. We drew a good one.
Okay.
It's called Urza's Tower.
Well, you have a lot of mana now.
I do. So let's spend 7 of it, and we're going to float 1 additional.
Okay.
And I will play another Karn Liberated, and I'll sacrifice my Sanctum.
Sure thing. What are you going to find with the second?
We're probably going to find... Let's find an Ulamog.
All right.
Okay, so I've got an Ulamog, and I'm going to put Ulamog in my hand, and now there's
still a
Planeswalker on the stack.
Got a Karn on the stack. I don't want Karn to resolve, so I'll go ahead and pay 2 mana of the blue variety to cast a counterspell, targeting the only valid spell on the stack.
That's fair. Yep, no Karn for me. Well, I do have a mana floating from that Sanctum, so I'll add 1 more to play Liquid Metal Coating.
You got it.
And I will just pass the turn after that.
All right. I'll untap and draw. Well, you've only got 1 tower now, so I think what we want to do here is minus to fairy on my Spreading Seas.
Yeah.
So I'll get to draw a card off the Teferi activation. Spreading Seas will go back into my hand.
That's correct.
And then I'll pay 2 mana.
Yep.
And we're going to play Spreading Seas again, and this time it's going to go on the tower.
Oh, I'm sad.
And when that enters, I also will draw a card.
Sure will.
I'll then plus Renin 6. I'll put a Misty Rainforest into my hand.
Okay.
I'll play said Misty Rainforest as my land for the turn.
Okay.
I'll go to combat.
Yeah.
I'll attack for 3 with Solitude.
I am sure taking 3, and you're sure gaining 3.
Yep. And then I think it's time that we pay 3 mana. And we put a Yorion into hand.
Okay.
And after that, I'll just pass the turn.
Okay. I will untap and draw. Wow. Some people have all the luck. Some people, by some people I mean me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're not casting this.
Yep, you get to target 2 things to
7,
exile.
8, 9, 10. 2 things to exile, you say. I would like to choose this one and this one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for me. I'm going to make it so you don't have the body.
Okay,
I'm going to play a counterspell.
That's valid.
But Renin 6 and Solitude are both getting exiled. Not great here, but at least there's not a 10/10 indestructible that exiles my deck.
This is true. After that, I will pass the turn.
At the end of your turn, I think I want to try not to draw lands a little bit at least, and still have the ability to have some value with Omnath, so I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice my Scalding Tarn to grab a tapped Sacred Foundry.
Sounds good to me.
And then I'll go ahead and go to my turn, untap my massive pile of lands. Draw. Let's go ahead and play a Misty Rainforest as my land for the turn.
Something obligatory joke about huge tracts of land.
I'll then play Teferi, I guess.
You got it.
So 1, 2, and 3 mana for Teferi. I'll go ahead and minus on the liquid metal coating again.
I'll respond by turning Teferi into an artifact till end of turn, just because.
Deal. And then I'll pay 5 mana to cast a Yorion Sky Nomad.
Okay.
And when it enters, I'm going to go ahead and exile till the end of turn and flicker the Spreading Seas and my Teferi. And I'll go ahead and go to the end of my turn.
Okay.
So Teferi will come back in with 4 loyalty, and Spreading Seas will come back in. I'll just attach it to the tower again.
Makes sense.
And I'll draw a card.
You do.
I am all set.
Okay. I'm going to untap lots of mana and draw a card. Very good, very good. I would like to pay 2 for this liquid metal coating.
It resolves.
I would like to pay 4 for this Karn the Great Creator.
I don't want Karn to resolve, so I'm going to play a force by exiling another Teferi.
Okay.
So
Karn is
gets
exiled.
Exiled. So is Teferi.
And then I'm just going to pass the turn, unfortunately.
All right. I'll untap and draw. I'll go ahead and attack for 4 with Yorion.
I'm going to take 4 and go to 5.
And then I'll just play a Windswept Heath. I'll plus Teferi, and I'll pass the turn.
Okay. Gotta be something good here.
Yep.
This is something good if it resolves.
Unfortunately for you, I do have another force, and I'll just go ahead and pitch this Expressive Iteration.
Did you draw literally 5 out of the 6 counterspells in your deck?
Did I play 3 counterspells? Maybe.
I'm pretty sure you have.
At least 4.
Well, I'm not dead on board as far as I can tell.
Not dead on board, but at the end of your turn, I do have a Solitude. Sideboard here, I don't have a ton of options available to me. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the last 2 copies of Force Negation from the sideboard because there's some scary Planeswalkers in the deck, and maybe if I really need to, I can counter some sort of land fetching spell early on in the game if I feel like I need it. And I'm just going to take out a couple of Prismatic Endings. A lot of the time, I can't really use them. On turn 1, they might be fine if I'm able to snag a map. Outside of that, all of your stuff is either out of range or you can just sacrifice in response.
And you've got a couple left in the deck to hit things that KGC grabs or whatever.
Right.
So
I can get a Karn or something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you are bringing in more blue spells, and I want to stop blue spells specifically. Veil of Summer works really well against Force Negation, Counterspell, Teferi, and if I cast it before the Teferi resolves, and Spreading Seas, actually.
Yep.
Relic, on the other hand, really good against maybe like a Darcy-style matchup, but this, not so much.
Yeah, only really stops a Wrenn and 6 a little bit, and trying to stop 4 of my 80 cards isn't where you want to be.
No, and Karn can grab these if that becomes relevant. So
That's true, that's true.
So, yeah, we're going to go with Veil of Summer instead.
All right, let's get into game 2. All right, let's see what happens this time.
I'm going first again. Hopefully a better 7 for me. I can't keep this.
I'll give it a shot. All right, so for game 2, my opening hand is not the best. I prefer my game 1 hand for sure. I've got 2 lands. I have a Windswept Heath and a Steam Vents, which is decent. I kind of want more lands, but hopefully I can find them with my 2 Icefang Quaddles, which I can play as early as turn 2, and it'll allow me to just keep on drawing cards and hopefully finding the lands that I need. I also have a counter spell, so I've got a really good turn 2 plan. I had this back in game 1. Hopefully it works out just as well for me here in game 2. As far as the other cards in my hand, I have 2 of the pitch elementals, 1 solitude, 1 fury. So whether JC's playing a big creature, I have an answer, or if he's playing something like a Karn, the Great Creator, or even a Karn Liberated that minused, I have an answer to that. So I like where I'm at. Let's just see if I can find the lands that I need.
Alrighty, come on, better 6, better 6.
Escalators, escalators, escalators. Eels.
Ooh, it's good enough, and I'll put this on the bottom.
Good enough, he says.
Game 2, the hand is a little bit more sketchy, but I also have more ways to find the rest of the lands this time. So my only lands are Boseiju and Urza's Mine, but I also have an Ancient Stirrings, a Sylvan Scrying, and a Chromatic Sphere. So I get an extra draw somewhere in there, and I get to go find a land, hopefully. I've got a Wormcoil Engine as my threat for when I eventually get to 6 mana, and I'm going to put this Ugin to the bottom because that's going to be the slowest, and he's also got the most counter spells for that one. So I'll kick us off with an Urza's Mine again.
Yep.
And a Chromatic Sphere again.
You've got a sphere.
And then I'll ship it.
And a mine. Alright, what do we want to do here? I think we're just going to go ahead and play a Windswept Heath and pass the turn.
Okay. I'll untap and draw. I see, I see. Let's filter into a green.
Okay.
And draw. Well then. Let's try to cast an Ancient Stirrings.
That resolves.
Okay. Gonna look at 5.
Whiff.
We did not whiff. I will take this here Urza's Power Plant.
I'd say that the odds of you whiffing is 0.
It's very, very low, yeah.
You'd have to hit like Ancient Stirrings and
Sylvan Scrying's all the way down. All the way down, yeah. I'll put that in my hand and then put it on the battlefield.
Sure
just
thing.
because I can. And then I'll just pass the turn.
End of your turn, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice the Windswept Heath and grab a Ketria Triome.
Okay.
Alright, I'll untap and draw and pay 2 life.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
Okay. Writes down counterspell.
Hey, I have 2 open mana. What could it be?
Well, this is not the way I normally want to do this, but I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to play Boseiju.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast a Sylvan Scrying.
Sylvan Scrying.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, writes down counterspell. Plays counterspell?
Yeah. Goodbye, Sylvan Scrying.
I don't want you to have Tron yet.
That's fair. I'll pass the turn after that.
Alright, I'll untap and draw. Well, if I can't have land, neither can you.
That's fair.
We're going to play a Spreading Seas on the power plant.
On the power plant, you say? Okay.
Yeah. So I'll draw a card.
You got it.
And lucky for me, it was a land. I'll pass.
Okay. I will untap and draw. I see. Well, let's start with an Ancient Stirrings.
Yep. Probably finding a
2,
Tron land of some sort, maybe.
3, 4, and 5. We did, in fact, find Urza's Tower.
All right. At least you don't have a power plant.
Yeah. Or do I?
Uh-oh.
Well, that's it for Ancient Stirrings. I will now play this here Urza's Tower and just pass the turn to you.
Never saw the tower coming. I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice the Wooded Foothills and grab a Raugrin Triome. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and go to my turn. And maybe I'll keep drawing lands. I do keep drawing lands. We're going to go ahead and pay 2 life for this land.
Okay. I don't like that.
And unfortunately, no Omnath.
Oh, okay. I like that better.
I'll just pass.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Writes down counterspell?
I mean, probably. Shoot dang. Well, I mean, guess I'll play this Urza's Mine. And I'll try to resolve a Karn.
A Karn.
The great creator, I says.
I think I'll allow it.
Okay. I will tick down the Karn, and I will acquire for myself a singular copy of probably just Oblivion Stone.
Sure thing.
Let's get a Wrath in hand.
So Karn gets you the Oblivion Stone, and then I'm guessing that's all you've got for the turn?
Yeah, that's going to do it for me. Go ahead.
At the end of your turn, I'll go ahead and pay 2 mana for an Ice Fang Quaddle.
Yeah.
And when it enters, I'll draw a card.
You sure will.
And then I'll pay 2 mana for an Ice Fang Quaddle.
Well, I like that significantly less, but it happens.
And I'll draw a card. And then we'll go to my turn.
You got it.
Alright. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and lead things off by paying 2 mana of the red and green variety. And I'll play a Wrenn and 6.
Oh, okay.
That solves my land problems.
Sure does.
Thank you, Wrenn and 6.
Good card.
I'll immediately plus it to grab a Wooded Foothills, and I'll play it as my land for the turn.
I see. Go on.
I'll then sacrifice it and grab, we'll go with a Snow-Covered Mountain.
Okay.
I've got all this mana, and the first thing I'll do is pay 2 of it to cast a Spreading Seas.
All right, what's your target?
We're going to put it on the tower.
Well, I'd like to cast a Veil of Summer in response.
Ooh, well, that's pretty sad for me, I guess.
Yeah, I get to draw a card instead.
I don't get to draw a card. You do get to draw a card, yeah?
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it.
All right. No Spreading Seas.
That was one of the worst things that could have happened. Let's not sugarcoat it. We've got the Spreading Seas that's going to make it so that JC can't have Tron next turn. That's kind of what I've been planning this entire turnaround. And then I find out he's got a Veil of Summer. No card draw for me. That means that if JC has Tron next turn, I can't do anything about it. He's going to have a lot of mana. This was the worst thing that could have happened here. And I just really wasn't expecting it. I'm a little bit scared. Well, I do still have 1 mana, so I'll go ahead and play a Lightning Bolt on the Karn.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
So I'll take Karn down at least.
Can't have everything, I suppose.
The reason Lightning Bolt works there through the Veil is because Lightning Bolt is not blue nor black. So I'll go ahead and go to combat.
All right.
And hit you for 2.
Well, I guess I'm at 18 then.
And I got nothing else. Pass the turn.
All right, I'll untap and I'll draw. It's a power plant.
Uh-oh.
We doing the most out here. All right, so let's start with 3 mana for that Oblivion Stone. And then I will pay 2 mana.
Yep.
1 of it to cast this Chromatic Sphere, and 1 to sack it for a green.
You got it.
Draw a card. Yeah, I am just going to go ahead and pass the turn.
Pass the turn, you say. Alright, and I'm sure you have enough mana over there to activate the Oblivion Stone.
It sure does look that way.
Alright. That's unfortunate for me. Well, I'll at least plus Ren and 6 here. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab a Windswept Heath.
You got it.
That'll be my land for the turn.
Okay.
I'll go to combat.
You sure will.
Attack for 2.
I'm going to take that too.
All right. And then, not really any sense to building the board any further for me, so
At least not yet.
I'm just gonna pass.
All right. Well, at your end step, I will pay 5 to activate an Oblivion Stone to destroy the non-land permanents.
Yep, so I'll lose my Spreading Seas, 2 Codals, a Ren and 6.
I lose my Oblivion Stone.
And let's see, what kind of mana do you have over there?
Just a green.
Do you have one land that you still only have 1 tower?
I still only have 1 tower.
Alright, so at the end of the turn, I'm going to go ahead and activate the channel ability of Boseiju here.
That's fair, that's fair.
And we're going to go ahead and get rid of that tower.
Yep, I get to go get a basic. Well, I'm slightly sadder, but at least I got rid of
All my stuff?
some nasty things, yeah. I'm going to draw for the turn.
Alright.
Tis a good one. Got a forest.
Uh-huh.
So let's try playing a planeswalker.
I don't like that one. I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Okay, fair enough. No Karn for me. I will pass the turn.
Alright. I'll draw a card. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and lead off on a 3 mana play.
Okay.
We'll tap like so, I believe. Yeah, that looks good. Go ahead and play a Teferi. And I'm just going to go ahead and minus no targets.
Okay.
To draw a card.
You sure done did do.
And then I'm going to sacrifice Windswept Heath and grab Snow-Covered Plains.
Okay.
And I'll just go ahead and pay 3 mana. And I'll put this here Yorion in my hand.
Makes good sense.
After that, I'll pass the turn.
Okay. I'm going to untap. Come on, top deck. Nah. But it's a good one.
I don't know.
Worm Coil Engine.
You got a Worm Coil.
I will pass the turn after that.
Alright, I'll untap and draw. That's not bad. It at least lets me get a land back here. I'll pay 2 mana.
I feel like it's a Ren and 6.
It's a Ren and 6. So I'll go ahead and plus the Ren and 6. And here I'll just go ahead and get back the Windswept Heath again.
Okay.
And I'll play it as my land for the turn.
You got it.
I'll then sacrifice it, grab a snow-covered forest.
Okay.
I'll then pay 5 mana.
I don't like this.
2 of which are white.
Oh, there it is.
And I'll play, not Yorion, I'll play Solitude.
Ah, I see.
So I'll exile the Worm Coil Engine.
Ah, yeah.
You do get to gain life.
I'm gonna
so
gain 6 life.
you doubled my life total.
Yeah, I sure have.
And then I'll plus Teferi, and I'll pass the turn.
Okay. All right, deck, come on. Give me something.
What do we
Oh,
got?
that is something.
Uh-oh.
That's an all is dust.
Oh, I have to sacrifice all my things.
You have to sacrifice all your things.
All right, they're going to the graveyard.
That was an answer.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I like that one. I'm going to pass the turn after that, though.
All right, I'll untap and draw. And I kind of need to apply some pressure, so we're just going to play a Fury just to play a Fury.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So I'll pay 5 mana, and then I'll pass the turn.
Writes down counterspell.
Lots of writing down of the counterspell.
Well, this is not a tower. It is a mine, so I only have 8 mana.
Only 8.
But I will use 6 of it to cast another Worm Coil Engine.
Another Worm Coil. Sure thing.
Okay, and then I'm going to pass the turn.
All right. Not good. I'll untap and draw. I I guess I'll go to combat. I'm gonna attack.
So Austin presents me with an interesting challenge where I could take the 6 and hope to crack back for 6 and gain 6 next turn. But realistically, if he's making this attack, I assume it's because he has a way to get rid of Worm Coil regardless. So I'd like to go to blockers and put the Worm Coil right there.
Sure thing. Before damage, I'm gonna go ahead and play a lightning bolt.
Sure.
On the Worm Coil engine.
It's going to die in first strike damage.
It will die in first strike damage.
Well, it dying does give me a couple of tokens, specifically this one and this one.
Yep. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pay 5 mana. And I'll cast a Yorion.
You got it.
And when Yorion enters, I'm gonna go ahead and flicker the Fury. And I'll take out the one with Death Touch.
Okay. No more Death Touch for me.
And I'm done.
Okay.
Because that was my end step.
It sure was. All right. Come on, deck. Give me something good. Well, it is a rebuy.
Yep, you got a sphere.
I will sack it for green.
What are we gonna find this time? Uh-oh.
Walking Ballista for X is 3.
X is 3. You got it.
I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn after that.
All right. I'll untap and draw. I'll start off by going to combat. I'll attack for 3 double strike.
I think I'm going to go ahead and throw the worm under the bus.
Sure thing.
I do not gain any life because that is how double strike works.
Yep. And then I'll go to second main phase. And I'll just start off by playing a prismatic ending on the Walking Ballista.
Okay, well, I will attempt to remove 3 counters to kill Fury.
Yep, Fury will go away. And then I'll play an Abundant Growth on this here mountain
You got it.
to draw a card. And after that, I'm all set. I'll just pass the turn over.
Okay. Interesting. I'd like to cast an expedition map.
You have 1 card in your hand?
I have 1 card in hand.
Alright, what does map get you? It gets you either a Blast Zone or a Sanctum of Ugin, and then... whether this is right or not, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm actually just going to go ahead and cast a Force of Negation.
Sure, you got it. I'll pass the turn. Austin, why are you wasting a counterspell on my map? On like turn who knows what? I've already got 8 mana. What are you so worried about? I needed that map so badly. So badly. You have no idea how bad that is for me. I hope the top of my deck is kind because I could have cast Ulamog this turn if you didn't counter my map.
I'll untap and draw. I'll go ahead and attack for 4.
I will take the 4.
Alright. And then I
Back below
drew
20.
a red and 6, so I'll
That's a
go ahead
good
and
one.
play the red and 6.
That's a good one.
And I'll just plus red and 6 to get a land.
Okay.
I think just to be safe, we'll grab a Beseiju.
That makes sense. Makes good sense.
And we'll pass the turn.
Okay. I'll untap and draw. Well, it's castable for 7.
I'll respond. We're going to pay 3 mana for another Force Negation.
Okay. Fair is fair. I will pass the turn.
Alright, I'll untap and draw. That's not bad. We'll go ahead and do that. So I'll pay 2 mana. And I'll cast Expressive Iteration.
Yeah, that's a good card.
Yeah, it's not bad. Oh, there we go. I like that one. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the hand, that in exile, this one on bottom.
Okay.
And then I'll pay 4 mana. And I'm gonna play an Omnath.
It's pretty good.
So then I'll draw a card.
Yep.
I'll play Misty Rainforest as the land for the turn.
You gain 4 life.
I do indeed. And I am going to plus Renin 6. I'll go ahead and get back a Windswept Teeth.
Okay.
I'll go to combat and attack for 4.
I am taking 4.
And then I'll just pass the turn.
Okay. I'll untap and kind of hope for the best. It's about all I can do at this point. Well, I'm going to pass the turn.
Alright, I'll just untap and draw. None of this really does much, but that's okay. I'll go to combat, attack for 8.
I go to 6.
Looks like I do have lethal by playing this land here to gain some life. I'll sacrifice my Flooded Strand and grab a snow-covered island.
Okay.
And then I'm going to sacrifice Misty Rainforest and I'll grab a tapped Hollowed Fountain.
Okay.
So when the Hollowed Fountain comes into play, it'll be the 3rd time Omnath triggers.
So I'm taking 4, along with all of my non-existent planeswalkers.
And then I'll pay 1 mana and cast a Lightning Bolt going at your face.
Well, I go to -1.
Also
Where's
known
that
as
Platinum Angel? Oh, no, I'm just dead.
the Skull and Crossbones.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That was close, and I found out that apparently forcing was pretty good for me there.
Turns out.
Good games.
Good games.